And nearly 3,000 people are confirmed dead from Friday's earthquake in Morocco. Hopes of finding survivors among the rubble are fading. Rescuers have yet to reach some remote mountain villages which suffered some of the worst devastation. DW correspondent Jan-Philipp Schultz reports from the village of Emmintala in the Atlas Mountains.
We see the damage before we even enter the village. It's difficult enough for our little car to get through. Difficult to imagine what it will be like for lorries full of aid. We have to leave the car and walk the last stretch. It's hot and everybody seems weighed down by exhaustion and shock. Young men carry an awful load, the body of a child. Umar Uwakrim is looking for his grandmother.
I've been searching since Friday night. We've been able to get into the remains of her house, but we couldn't find her anywhere. I'm not giving up. I'll keep looking.
There is not much left. What wasn't wrecked by the earthquake was buried by rocks falling from the cliffs. An unmistakable smell tells the story of bodies yet to be found under smashed concrete and rock. Rescue teams from as far as Spain and Qatar are looking for those who might still be alive. This used to be the village mosque. The imam was inside.
We got here 2 hours ago and heard faint calls for help. We immediately cleared the area and called his mobile phone. It actually rang. It should help us to know where he is. But right now, we don't know if he's unconscious or if he's dead.
Several hours later, there is still no sign of the imam. Elsewhere, though, villagers pull tragedy from the rubble. 3 bodies. They'll at least give their families certainty.
An unknown number of dead bodies and no survivors found. This is the sad outcome of today's rescue mission so far. But people will continue searching and they will start again early in the morning. They are not willing to give up hope yet.
Hope also comes on 4 legs. Kilian, the search and rescue dog, came from Sweden with his handler Christoph Kiriel.
He's been in Turkey in February, and after 6 days in the Rabos people, we found 18 alive people there.
Kilian is not the only one. Everyone is stepping up to help, to follow hope, even when it seems overwhelming.
A report from DW correspondent Jan-Philipp Schultz, who joins us now from Marrakech. Welcome, Jan-Philipp. We just saw how difficult it is to reach some of those remote areas. Is any help going to get through there at all?
The places we have visited in the past days have received some kind of help. By now, there are many actors on the ground, military units, some foreign countries, local NGOs, an impressive number of volunteers, but there are still people in very remote villages that complain that they haven't received any help yet. We must not forget the places we have reached in the past days still have some kind of access, but there are villages very deep in the mountains where all infrastructure is destroyed, and it's not possible to say when those places will receive enough help.
And so 4 days after this quake, what are people's biggest concerns?
I think most people are realizing at the moment that there is very little chance to still find their loved ones. I spoke to a psychiatrist today, and he said there are a lot of people with post-traumatic stress disorder, but at the same time, the ones that have lost their homes must somehow see how they can survive. Of course, their eventual goal is to return home one day, but this goal still seems very far away. So the first shock for the people might be over, but that doesn't mean that the weeks ahead will be any easier.
And has the Moroccan government explained why it has requested assistance from just 4 countries, Spain, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates and the UK?
Well, this is a very big discussion in the country. At the moment, the officials that I've been able to talk to say they want to coordinate things, they want to stay in charge of the whole operation. And it's true, Morocco has very qualified teams itself. And experts agree too many helpers can lead to some degree of chaos in such a disaster. At the same time, it's obvious that it also has a political dimension. Obviously, Morocco has preferred to ask countries that it has good diplomatic relations with. But the government also said that at one point they will open doors to more international help because there are still very difficult weeks and months ahead for the country.
And so how are Moroccans reacting to what sounds like a government playing politics, or potentially with lives?
Well, a lot of people I have spoken to see this as not a good move by their government. They are very critical with it. They say this is about a humanitarian disaster. This is not about politics. Others say that they understand it, that they see it more from a logistical point of view, and that maybe the government is right with its decision. But I would say the majority of the people I've spoken to in the past days say that more international help is needed at this point of time already.
Thank you for that, Jan-Philipp Scholz in Marrakech.